Welcome to the fastest stop in town. Today, Masechtas Rosh Hashana Daf Chaf. We are going to begin on the top of Chaf Amud Aleph, the second line from the top. So the Gemara now continues with Ika de Amri. Amr Rav Nachman Afanam and Tanina Al Shnei Chadashim, 2 months, Mechalon Es Shabbos. And what are those 2 months? Al Nisan Al Tishrei. So as we mentioned before, now Iyamrit Bishlam Olam Chaser. If it's true that Adar preceding it is always Chaser, Mishum Hachi Mechalinan, then it makes sense that we're going to be Mechalel in the month of Nisan, the mitzvah Kaddish Al Riyah, because it's a mitzvah nonetheless to be Mekadosh with the Edom. To get the Edom there on time, so Rosh Chodesh is always the 29th, which is Chaser, and Rosh Chodesh will be Nisan on the 30th day. Now, Iyamret Zim Nimalizim Chaser, so why do we want to be Mechalit? Nabre, just let the based in wait in Nikadosh HaMachar. So Id Ikla Yom Shlishim Shabbos Hachanami. If the 30th day was on Shabbos, you're right. Hachamai Skinan, the Ikla Yom Shlishim the Echab Shabbos. The 31st day is Shabbos. The Mitzvah Kaddish El Re'iyah. In that situation, it is a Mitzvah Kaddish El Re'iyah. Look at Rashi. Hacha the Katani Mechalin. Why are you Mechal in the month of Nisan? For example, the 31st day is on a Shabbos. Lo Nira HaChodesh Esmol, and we didn't see the month the day before. El Hayom, only today. The Inami Lo Azli Mekadosh Le based in Ha'idna, the Ein Lo Chodesh Yoisal Shloishim, it's not more than 30 days anyway. The Mekadosh B'Shlo Pi Edim, they'll end up being Mekadosh without witnesses. Therefore they'll be able to be Mechal it in order to be able to have witnesses. Neisif Rav Kahana Kish Ha Mikdash Kayim, when the base of Mikdash was standing, Mechal and Aval Kulan, then they made the Kanas HaKarban. So it said in our Mishnah, the end of the Mishnah, that we will be Mechal every single one so that people will be able to bring the Karbanos. Rashi is Musafei Rosh Chodesh, Shikru B'Zmanan. We want that carbon to be brought in the proper time on Rosh Chodesh. Now, Medikulu La Mishum the Mitzvah Kaddish El Re'iyah. When it comes to all of them, it's Lav? Is it not because of the Mitzvah Kaddish El Re'iyah? Nisan Tishri Nami La Mishum the Mitzvah Kaddish El Re'iyah. So again, it must be the same concept. Says Rashi, Havichol Shabbos did who? We want to be able to we'll be Mechal Shabbos for that reason. El Shihu Hamoadas Mizmana Lafi Toilas Lavana. We want to be able to have it at the right time. Now, there are different times Mishum Hachim Mechalina. That's the reason we're Mechal, because otherwise we're not going to know. Now, if others always a Chaser is 29, am I Mechalina? So on this, the Gemara says Tiyopta. Okay. Kiyasa Ula Omer Abrul Elul, he actually would make sometimes the month of Elul 30th day, make an Uber, an extra day. So Amar Ula Yadi Chavrin Bavloi Mativusa Avdinan Badayu. Perhaps they should realize the greatness of what they did. So Mativusa. So what was the great thing that he did by adding an extra day in Elul that pushes everything else off? And therefore Omar so Ula Oimer Mishum Yarakaya, because of vegetables. Says Rashi. Lahafrid Shabbos v'Yom Tov. If you wanted to separate Shabbos and Yom Tov, Zemizeh. Kadeshlo Yichmashu Yirakos, so that we don't want the vegetables to spoil. And the chalos kashin chayin, when they're eating on raw on Shabbos, shach Yom Tov shach Shabbos. So he made it not a 2-day Yom Tov, that is Shabbos and Yom Tov together, in order to be able to preserve vegetables. Rabbi Achabar Chin, that's why he added an extra day to push it off. Rabbi Achabar Chanina Omer Mishom Masaya, because when someone dies, says Rashi, Shoyatzriach Meis Shiyamus Machavahem. Let's say someone dies on one of these days. Sherishain. It's not going to be buried today or tomorrow. It could be the remains could spoil. So my binaya, what's the nafki? Yom Kippur shechol yois achar Shabbos. Yom Kippur falls out on a Sunday. So mani mishel Messiah nabrina. If the issue is because the person died, so then that's a reason to again push it off and make an extra day. This way we'll move Yom Kippur to a Monday. So this way a person will be able to do the burial on the Sunday. So we'll make Yom Kippur a day later. When it comes to the issue of vegetables, So Lemus Kaboilahu. So when does he want them? Well, does he want them after Yom Kippur? Orta Tarchu Maisi. So at the night he will be matriach and bring them. Says Rashi, L'moitzi Yom Kippurim. So Orta Tarchu Maisi. The insar chulakate erev Shabbos. He won't have to gather them up. Hilkach lo mavrinam. So according to this reason, we would not add an extra devel. What do you mean? That they both are valid reasons, so that shouldn't be a nafkamin. El ikabinayu Yom Tov Samach Shabbos. Ben Shalom Ben Shalachara. You have Yom Tov and Shabbos right next to each other. So Mandi Mishim Kaya Mavrina. So there's an issue of the spoiling vegetables. Mandi Mishim Messiah Efsher Bi As we've said before, that you could have someone who's an akum engage in the burial. As Rashi says, so other nations, people could bury your dead for you. What do you mean? If there's an issue, there's still an issue of Yerikaya, so that should still be an issue. The answer is, it's possible you could soak them. So Rashi sharim b'chamin. So by soaking them in hot water, it revives the vegetables and revitalizes them, so therefore it's not an issue. Okay, question 7. Or Mishim Messiah, my nafkamina bein atamim. So she said, Yom Tov Samach Shabbos, whether before or afterwards, other nations could bury the dead. Okay. You did a favor to the people in Babel. How about the people in Eretz Yisrael? It should also be a favor to them. No, for them, for us in Babel, it's very hot. It's not so hot. And therefore, in Babel, because of the intense heat, says Rashi, Anu b'nei Babel chamlanu ha'oilon yeshlanu hevel lafisha Babel amuka down in the ground. Eretz Harim Agbois Eretz Yisrael doesn't have mountains, doesn't have cool. The body's not going to spoil, the vegetables aren't going to spoil in Eretz Yisrael. The issue is in Babel, and therefore the taibo is for them. Any Vatani Rabba bar Shmuel Yachak Hashem Shemavirin es Hashana l'tzarech Hachamavirin es Achodesh l'tzarech. So just like we said, you can be maver the year for some benefit, so you can also be maver the month and make it an extra day. You think you could do that? You have to actually do it the day that you saw it. You can't just add. What do you mean? Why would he be able to add a 30th day? You shouldn't be able to do that. So you can't push it off for other reasons. If you see the moon, that's it. To make it into a 30th day for these reasons you're allowed to do, even if, let's say, we've seen before. However, Kaddish, to make it earlier than was actually seen, that one cannot do. What you could do, make it 30th day, they can also make it 29 as well. You can also make a chaser. That he used to keep them quiet and scare the witnesses. When it comes to a month which they saw bismano, which is the 29th day, la'abro, in order to be able to make it an extra day. So he used to basically get the witnesses not to say anything. However, the ein mamidin al edim al chaydish shalo nir bismano l'kadsho. You can't do it the other way around to make it 29 days. Says Rashi, b'yom shleishim al edish shal ru'u v'anan srichon l'kadsho hayom. We can't scare them. We can't tell them, oh, say that you saw it. If you didn't see it on the day 29, you can't say that. But just to have them not speak and then make it the next day, we could do. It's not so. Rabbi Huda and the seal Rabbi Ami, all his days, that he would do this, Yom Re'inu. So we see that you could make it earlier too. So Rabbi Lokasha, Haba Nisan v'Tishrei Habishar Yarche. When it comes to the month of Nisan and Tishrei, says Rashi, Shemuadus Tulin Behen Mekachim L'Tzarech. You could make it earlier for those Muados of Nisan and Tishrei. However, the other months, a person not to do so, and it quotes the Gemara in Masechtas Erechin, in Paichasin mi'arba chadashim hamubarim b'shan. You can't have less than 4 months in which have 30 days. Lo nira la'aber yoisrael shmeina, and you can't make more than 8. So there are limitations as what a person is allowed to do for the other months. Rabbi Omer Hadatani Rabba Bar Shmuel Acherem. This is actually a sheet of Acherem. The sign Acherem Omerim Ein Bien Atzeres Atzeres Ve'Ein Bien Rosh Hashana Rosh Hashana El Dal Yom Bilvad V'Im Ha'Yisrael Shana Muberes Chamisha. So he's very particular and exact. You can't deviate. So if we think about the 7 days of the week, that's let's call 50 weeks. That's 350. So the moon is 354 days, which means that every year there's a 4-day change. So again, if let's say you have on a Sunday, the next year it's not going to, the same holiday will not be, Rosh Hashanah will not be on a Sunday. There's going to be 4 days, a 4-day difference. If there's a extra month, then there'll be 5, and that's it. There's not going to be any more than that, which basically, according to this Shita, he says, always one is moli and one is chaser at all times. Fine. And so again, v'im ha'isa shanamu beres chamisha. He flipped it the other around. That he would get the witnesses to make it a 29-day. However, he would not allow it to be a longer day. My time, but why not? Which again, it's interesting that you would think that. So as we continue to chapel midbays, because hi Mexica Shikra, hi little Mexica Shikra, says Rashi. Kishiniris Bisman. If you saw it, let's say day 29, the enemy Eden, and you don't testify, Harbi Acherim Yesharuhu, there'll be a lot of people that saw it, Venira Shel Sheker Ibruhu. They'll know it's a lie. It's not true, because probably a lot of other people saw it already the 29th. So therefore, you can't make it 30. Of a Kishlo Ru'uhu, let's say it wasn't seen, V'yomer Inu in Sheker Noida. People aren't going to know. People are like, well, I guess they saw it. I didn't see it. The truth is they didn't see it either. But we'd allow it because it's not going to look like Sheker. Okay, interesting svara. Omer Shmuel. He says, I'm able to basically fix a calendar for all times. Because he was an expert in the moon and the constellations. So Amrule Abu Avud Rabbi Shmuel, he said, really? Yadamar Hai Milsa the Sanya Masayid Ibor. Do you know the following thing that's written in Sayyid Ibor? Rashi says it's a brisa which has all these hints. It's not so clear. It's very cryptic in its language. Do you understand what this means? If the Noilad, which is the time which specifically in Yerushalayim, when we find that the moon and the sun is aligned, which is called conjunction, that it's before Chatzos or after Chatzos. Do you understand what that's referring to? He said, no. Somebody said, come on. Must be other things you don't know either. So it's really a bold statement that you made. It has to be that the night and the day comes from the chodesh, from the new, says Rashi. We know that the day goes after the night, right? As we always know, right? Bracious in it's here Boker. So you have the night that precedes the day. Well, Mandu says Rashi, it's only 3 Rashi, it's Kedai to see. She'im nearest halavana hayashana. If let's say you saw the old moon, Mishach HaShecha, when it was dark, Yom Esematisha, on the 29th day, Shehu Leil Shalashim, the night of the upcoming 30th, Ein Mekadosh Noisa B'Yom Shalashim. So he's saying you cannot be Mekadosh it on the 30th day, because if you saw it during the, again, during the day, it has to be the night, then the day. V'im Timer says, Rashi, Pshita in Mekachin, Shahari Lo Tira HaChadash B'Yom Shalashim. You didn't see it on the 30th day. The Karmelan, Esem V'Arba, Shoy, for 24 hours, the Chasit Sahara. The moon is covered up. So there's a 24-hour span that you cannot see the moon based on the alignment of the sun. So obviously you shouldn't be able to do this. That the Man Yarman that says that you can actually tell the witnesses who did not see it on the 29th, show that you can tell them, yes, it was on the 29th. Yashmi'inan, we tell them. The nearest Hashana B'layla, if it was seen the old moon at night, in Mamidin, that we don't allow it. Shahariyako ro shalayla min hachodesh sha'amar, because everyone's going to know this is not accurate. Okay. We'll understand this. I'm going to do question 8, which will review this at the end of the daf. He explained as follows. If, let's say, the noilad took place before chatzos, then you know that it's possible you can actually see the new moon before sunset, because since it takes at least 6 hours to be seen after the noilad, so if it's seen before chatzos, you could see it already before sunset, assuming, again, we have shows manos of a perfect 6 a.m., 6 p.m. day. However, if, let's say, you only saw it after chatzos, so if you saw it after chatzos, it cannot be seen that day before shkia, as the noilad is at 12 o'clock p.m., and then 6 hours later, it's after shkia sachama. So again, when the sun and the moon are aligned, which we're saying is at 12 o'clock, that's called conjunction, and then at that time, you cannot see the moon for 6 hours, and therefore, because of that, obviously, you cannot say it took place, if the moila took place at 12 or after chatzos, there's no way you could do it before, because it's impossible to see. So my nafkamina some rabash sahadi is to be able to contradict witnesses that are lying, because again, if they testify after the moila that they saw within those 6 hours, is an impossibility. As we said in Rashi, that for 24 hours you cannot see the moon. Namely, between the old moon and the new moon, you cannot see for 24 hours. Medidan, for us, she's me'itika. It's 6 hours. This is referring to the people in Yerushalayim. They could see for 6 hours the old moon. The Tamnitzari michad telididhu, and then 18 hours for them, and people in Babel, the new moon. She's mechadatav Tamnitzari miatika. If you add the 6 and 18, that'll end up being 24 hours. So my nafkamina some ravasha chushit sahadi. Again, if they testify that this took place between the old moon and the new moon, within 24 hours, you know that they're lying, because it's not possible for it to be seen between the sighting of the old moon and the new moon. And therefore, that's why it's telling us that's the last time you can see the old moon in Yerushalayim is 6 hours before, and then 18 hours in Babel. Amram tzarich shehil layla v'yoyim min hachodesh. So we said that it has to be that the day, the night, and then the day have to come from the new. The Minalwan, how do we know? So Rabbi Yochanan, so he quotes the pasuk. Me'ervad boiker, as we know it. First you have me'ervad erev, from night until night. Reish Lakish ad yoyim ha'echad esum hachodesh, ba'erev. So my benaus. So Abaye oimer mashmois darshanik benaus. There's really no practical halachic difference. It's really the same thing. Rabbi oimer chatzos layla ik benayu. What does that mean? So look at Rashi. Shari mechatzos layla harishon shel Pesach, the midnight of the first night of Pesach, ad yom ha'echad esrim, until the 21st day, achilas matzah rishus, in which eating matzah is rishus, muvad shlo yochel chametz. During that time you can't eat chametz. As it says in Masechtas Pesachim, mechatzos layla rishon cholk mehem, that midnight is when it's divided. The nimshach ima Pesach hanishchat be'arba asur shenimsas nechelas imo chayva. So here, the nighttime starts at chatzos, not at the start of the evening. Okay. Amrav Zera, Amrav Nachman, Kol Steika L'Kamei Shadina. Anytime there's a doubt, we push it to a later time. L'Meiber the Chameisar V'Shitsar. When it comes to the 15th and the 16th, Avdina and our Beisar, Avdina will make it. Our Beisar will Avdina. We're not going to make it until the 14th. V'Le'evin Nami our Beisar. Once you make it the 14th, Del Chisruha, L'Ave Chisruha El. Maybe both of these days are chaser. As we continue to Chaf Aleph, Amadav, no, Trey Yarchi Chasire, Kala Islahu. If it would be true that there were 2 months in a row which are chaser, then that's something which people would talk about, and therefore for that reason we're not going to assume, and therefore we're not going to make it on the 14th. Look at this Rashi on the bottom of Chaf Amid Beis. Abel Tzrichan Analasas Yom Tov Sheni B'Yom Tazayin Mesafik Shema Ibru based in as Ha'adar V'Kabel Nisan B'Yom Shloshim Echad L'Chein Be'elul. However, we're not going to assume it the other way around. Okay. Stop here. Not the easiest piece of Gemara. Let's see a couple questions. Hopefully we'll answer it. So we already explained the nafkamina of Yorkai and Messiah, which was question 7. Question 8. Sar shehi laila b'yom min hachadash. So you have to have the night and then the day. So kasha debalav hachil mishkachas l'shatira hiyashana b'laila. Of course, a person would be able to see it at night. After all, the hachadash l'mecharas, and then to see the new moon, you can't see the old moon at night and then the new moon during the day, because you have to have there's a 24-hour period of time from seeing the old moon to seeing the new moon. So what does this come to tell? So answers, Rashi said, that we allow sometimes to make the month early to the 29th day. So again, the night and the day must be from the same moon. The day, that's what it's referring to. The day and the night and then the day must be from the chodesh, from the new moon, not from the old moon, because the day follows the night. That we're not going to allow them to do this in a situation where the old one was seen at night. That we're not going to do, even though we may sometimes have the witnesses testify wrongly, falsely, for good reasons, to be able to make it a 29th day. We're not going to do it in a situation where it's going to again be a situation where that it was seen at night. Okay, the old moon at night, because then it's going to be clear. Obviously, they definitely didn't see it. So the next day. Okay, question 9. Question 9 asks, Madua in Chayshishin b'nei goylasas yimei Pesach v'Sukkos mesafik on the 14th? Why do we have the 15th and the 16th? Why is it the 16th? Why don't we have the concern based on the 14th? Because maybe the holidays, the month before were a chaser, which pushes all the holidays closer. So maybe it's the 14th. The answer is no. The only way that would happen is there would be 2 months preceding it that both would be chaser, and that's something which would be unusual. It would have created a koll, and since people didn't know about it, must be that's not what happened. Therefore, we're not chayshish yudal, we're only chayshish the other way. Okay. Question TA 4. Al elu shnei mekarim amr b'gemara nafke min al chushit sahadi. Not an easy question, but the Gemara mentions 2 different situations where we're concerned, and therefore we're going to end up certain dinim that we're concerned that the Edom are lying. So one is im hamoyel acher chatzos. If the moyel took place after 12 o'clock, the oyimrim, and they say shirua samach shkesacham, we saw it before sunset. You know that's not possible, because from the time of the moylad until being able to see the moon takes 6 hours, because if there's this conjunction where the moon and the sun are aligned, so at that moment when the sun is going to be hitting against the moon, you won't be able to see the moon for those 6 hours. Oh, im ormrim shiroas yashana b'terech chav beis shos. If they saw the old moon within the span of 24 hours, that's also not a possibility. Between the old moon and the sight of the new moon had to have been more of a span of 24 hours. So therefore, if they saw it then we know that's also something which is not true. Adkan.